Sure. I'll talk it out.
Yeah, let's just have a conversation.
Track 3.
Better not be fucking Dave Matthews Band.
Okay. Those of you who don't want to be a part of this can leave now.
Derek, please listen to me.
But if you choose to stay, which it seems like you guys are choosing,
Derek, please.
you understand and agree to the following terms and conditions.
Derek!
1.
Derek, this is the virus.
You hereby waive your right
Derek, please.
to your own personal bodily integrity.
This is not you.
2.
I'm a life.
Per the state versus Neville Reed, my colleague and I will not be held criminally liable for any felony or misdemeanor that you may be a victim of, including, but not limited to, aggravated assault, aggravated battery, disorderly conduct, destruction of property, mayhem, and first-degree murder. And 3, terms and conditions may change or be updated whenever the fuck I want! Consider yourselves notified.
What up, everyone? DJ Nubis here with you on the Metal Time Radio podcast with episode 5 of When I Raid Alone. Today, not a whole lot of news, but I do have a couple things I want to talk about. A new game. I saw that DM Darth microtransaction was playing and kind of got me interested a little bit, so I checked it out. It's a game called Dragon Heir, Silent Gods. And it's an open world high fantasy RPG that puts you in control of like over 200 characters. So basically, this is one of these games where you are placing your characters in certain positions on the board, like chess pieces, and then they go and they fight. And but the cool thing about this game is that it used to be more like turn-based almost, but now it's like more auto. So you can build up your characters and then like they will actually move around the board a little bit to help out other characters as you're destroying the enemy or whatnot. And I think this game was initially made for like Android phones and stuff, but on the PC, the graphics are amazing in this. Like it's really, really cool. Like I went and tried playing Diablo Immortal not too long ago, and sure, it's cool that I can play it on PC, but the graphics are just abysmal. It's terrible. It doesn't even look that good. And so I didn't really like stick with Diablo Immortal all that much. But this game looks really good. I mean, I haven't really played too much into it, but I've got about about an hour or so into it, and it's very cool. But there's a video out there now by a streamer named Chosen, who's one of my favorite streamers right now, and he's gonna go and break down like the game a little bit here. And I don't know if I'm gonna play the entire clip, but definitely he's gonna show you a little bit of what it's about and what goes on. So just so for those that are unaware of this game or might be interested, this is something he does a much better job explaining everything than I do. So let's give it a whirl here.
Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and recently I was over on the live stream having some fun trying out the new Dragon Heir Silent Gods game, but I also wanted to go ahead and crunch that down and edit it into a highlight video for YouTube. I ended up playing it for a few hours, and then I'm going to condense it into like a 20-minute video or so where we show some of the fun moments and the summoning and all of that on my first time playing Dragon Heir Silent Gods live on stream. Let's get into it. But I still have my ear to the ground for new stuff like this. I'll probably play Dragon Heir for a while. It's always fun to have something new to dive into. Oh, it shows me what level I'll get to when I pop it. That's really cool. Oh, that's pretty cool. There's like a serpent slithering through the background. That's pretty cool. I like that. Oh, he's assisting. Watch out for these things in the ground. Oh, the terrain will get you. Oh, he won't. Can I move him? Yeah, I want him in the front. Oh, that's cool. You can click on them to see their stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool detail in this game, and like if you see these like little plus signs above the characters, so like before you go into a battle, if you have healing potions, you can heal them up real quick before battle, and that's you just click on those. Let my mouse are here so you can see that. You just click on those to heal them, and you can adjust them on the board of how they're going to attack. Like you might have, like for me, I'll have my healer back here somewhere. But sometimes you'll have like the enemy surrounding you. So you have to kind of adjust it and whatnot to what's going on the board. But yeah, it's a pretty cool game. I really enjoy it.
That's super cool. Wait, I can upgrade them from here?
Mhm.
That's cool. You can do it right there from the battle. Okay, let's get you back here, you in front. Oh, let's defend the edges a little bit. And then we can use our ability. That's a little bit of an AoE, so that we wouldn't go right there for sure. Yep, and then we hit all four. This will be healing in this. Yep, so you want her in the middle. Will you play this on launch? I probably will, yeah. Right now, I'm doing a little bit of like a test server tryout type thing, but yeah, I think I will play it. Dwarves always want their treasures. Now we get him. Okay, so he's a defense champion. Okay, so yeah, so that's kind of cool. They kind of get you up and running with like a basic team right out the gate. You have a poisoner, a damager, a support, and a tank, kind of within 5 minutes. That's pretty cool. So we still got our 4, and I can place him. Let's put him in the middle. The support goes in the middle because she can heal everything. Okay, so this one's hurt, so we try to use that. Yeah, that's super cool. And I think this is a pretty solid setup here. You get that support in the middle, the tank in the front. The following heroes have unequipped. That's really cool. And you can tell it not to remind you. Oh, and on the right, it tells you your... Yeah, that is super cool. Okay, good tip. Yeah, thank you. Now, I want the tank to definitely have some toughness. So let's give him a helm. Equip that. And give our main healer a little bit more on the front line. A helm.
I will say this, when it comes to the equipment, like I noticed that right now, maybe it changes down the road. Like like I said, I haven't really gotten super far into the game yet. Like I'm about where he's at right now with I just picked up the dwarf and a couple of little characters here and there because you can summon them as well. So for those who are familiar with like the Android games or the iPhone games, there's like summoning crystals that you can use to get new heroes and whatnot. And then of course you have a lot of like garbage trash warriors. You can probably like trash them and get the materials for them, whatever. But I noticed with the equipment, it's not really like class specific. So he's going to put his gear on the dwarf, but like you can literally take the same helm and put it on any other character and it will help benefit that character. So far, maybe a little disappointed. I don't see class specific gear dropping, but maybe that's something that changes going down the road.
Beautiful. And then we can upgrade him to like level 10 to 12 to keep him in line. Let's do that. That'll get him right in line. Okay. So we need a healer there. I do love that mechanic. And you can kind of pick the order. Oh, I need to get my poisoner's ability off like ASAP.
Don't bother trying to hide.
My poisoner needs a little bit more HP. The poisoner is always getting beat up. I want to wait till Hell Hades raids us, and then we're gonna pull a bunch of legendaries to brag Hell Hades. So let's save these for a little bit here. Yep. Okay. Ooh, as the battle starts, summon a vulture. I love that. But yeah, I might have to throw up some videos, some beginner's guides and stuff like that, and do some deep dives. I think it'll be fun to try out something here. So that's a passive. I do love summoning a vulture. That's really cool. Is Hades?
Yeah, I got that troll archer, but I have not used him because he's kind of like a lower level. But again, I wasn't paying attention. So Chosen, thank you for pointing that out. Because like even though I go through these games, sometimes I'm not patient, so I kind of just jump in. I keep wanting to play. So I didn't realize that the goblin or troll archer can summon that vulture. So that's kind of key. So I need to kind of consider putting him in, regardless of where he is on the like blue, legendary, rare scale. So yeah,
He's here, or did Hades bounce already? It's probably late for Mr. Hades. It's gotta be what, like 10:30. Good to see everybody. What is good? Thank you for the raid. Oh, he's still here.
Don't bother trying to hide.
Got to try out.
now that's interesting though. I'm gonna have to reevaluate, like look into it because he's not. There is the auto battle, so like I don't know if I missed it where you would click that. Because right now I'm just kind of like doing, I'm taking it like turn based, so I'm kind of just going through and then clicking what they're going to do, where they're going to fight. But I definitely want the auto battle feature, so I'm going to have to look into that. Like, I mean, he might be further along than I am at this point. I don't know, but definitely need to look into that because some people hate auto battle features on games. I actually like them. I like the idea of putting together the crew and the specs and the skills and then letting them fight like AI wise into a battle. Some people like doing it themselves. I don't really care for that. Like one thing I've talked about with World of Warcraft, I would like it if I had the choice to take my hunter, excuse me, and basically throw him on auto. Not in PvP. PvP is like a player versus player skill set that you have to have. So I don't think any kind of auto battle is good for that. But P versus E, like I think it'd be kind of cool if I can actually just have an auto battle option for my players, my characters. So in this, like I don't get butthurt if I have an auto battle system. Like I think it's cool because the idea is you're still paying attention to the specs. You're still paying attention to how you're building these characters because it is an RPG. The gear you're giving them, what they do, etc. So there is still kind of like a strategy to it. And so I don't get butthurt like some people do about auto battle systems. I do like auto battle systems personally.
Out a little bit of Dragonair for a few hours. Now, Simon, if you want to stick around, I can teach you how to be a pro Gacha gamer. If you want to hang out for a little bit. Yeah, there's some things I like so far. I like how you can click to upgrade somebody right there from like the pre-battle screen. So that's super cool. And I like how you can like pull up their stats from that part. We need a soundbite for YST as well. We got Hades and YST coming in hot. But yeah, see, I like this. I like how I can click on them like during the fight and pull up their stuff. This is super cool. And I also like how I can go upgrade them right here from the battle screen. Oh, we were waiting for Hell Hades to get here so I could summon and brag about what I summoned. Summoned an epic healer. Just summoned. Is he still playing? Oh, that's cool. I love that carpet rollout.
Yeah.
So a rare support. Supports are really important early game.
Offending me is fine, but offending the boss.
That's a cool character there.
We got an epic second pull.
Under the moonlight.
Oh, look at that. 2 out of 3. We got a lawful neutral. Oh, wow. Grants a rally with... Wow, so you could really snowball.
Yeah, see, that's the thing about me when I play. I don't always pay attention to the specs or the complementary characters on one another. So that's something I keep learning with games. And, you know, because I do love RPGs. I played Final Fantasy for many years, and even though I haven't got to 16 yet, but I just like certain games in this format and whatnot. So, but I need to pay more attention to how they're built, how they complement each character, and like things they bring to the table. So I probably Chosen's kind of got me wanting to get back into the game right now. So maybe when I'm done with this video, I'll go and dabble in there a little bit more and maybe swap out some characters, because I pretty much go for like either legendaries or rares or epics. But I may end up swapping out some if I think they're going to bring more to the table in terms of my combat. So,
Ooh, that's a cool looking champ.
Necromancer.
That's quite the sight. That is quite the sight right there. What is that? I can teach you how to roll legendaries. Yeah, that would be great. When is your next summoning class? You do that on Sundays usually? Oh, that's cool. It like lays it out for you in this little hall here. Yeah, that looks cool. We're going to pull until we get a legendary. What are the odds? I'm going to look after this.
I got one on the first
That
time.
is a super cool way to do the 5 summons, though. Oh, did it show me that I got an epic there?
I think so.
Just mind yourself.
Yeah, so it shows them. Yeah, it showed me 2 epics on the altar.
Yep.
If you ever do it and make a mess,
Yeah, they light up. That's really cool. Okay, so now where's the odds? Does it show the odds somewhere? Let's go back. Summon details. Oh, 3%. Okay. So I should only need to pull about like 35 to get a Lego. I mean, I might not get 2 out of 10 like Hades. But we got to keep our expectations realistic here.
Got epic. The rest are rares.
Another rare necrotic damage.
Disputes and violence should be put in a state with
Halfling.
Just mind yourself. Don't you even dare defy the I will explain.
Epic support. You can never have enough good supports.
Oh, she's cool looking.
Oh, wow. You mark them, and then they get increased shield. Yeah, that's super cool. That's got to be a good passive. Debuff immunity and defense up. I mean...
He's a bad man.
You know, you don't even want to watch a summon? Huh?
Man, I feel kind of lucky. I got a legendary on my first roll.
Yo, Wolfcrex, how you doing?
Those abandoned by where they came from.
I shall protect all your skills to form.
Did I go 0 for 5?
Defeat.
I want to play a game.
It's going to happen right here. We're getting close. We're getting close to hitting the RNG of getting one. Nope, another. We got, okay. Chaotic evil. Chaotic evil. Now we're talking.
Please, let me fight.
Lawful good. We're getting the full spectrum here. Recharging speed penalty.
All that you see.
They have voice lines. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's the one we were using already.
I wonder. I doubt Chosen will ever see this, but I wonder how he got so many dice like early on. Like, I don't know how far along in the game as there is right now, but like, even where I was at, I think I got maybe 15 or 20, if that. But he was like at 80, so he had like a lot of them. So I wonder how he got so many so fast.
Yep, duplicate hero. Okay. Okay. Imprint.
And I'm assuming that when you have duplicates that you can stack them. I can't remember. I think I did do one where they can add in similar duplicates and raise themselves and upgrade through that class. I think you can do that.
Some of the hero names. I'll start reading them.
Nope.
Hexandra. Now this is the one we were using as well, right?
So much more.
Yep. Yep. This is the passive where you get the increased healing if they need it. Yep. So that's another duplicate.
I must temper my resolve.
That's cool.
Scarel.
I like
deep
that.
elf.
Wine, crowds, and that.
Being a mere 0.1% success rate.
Orb of Flames. That's kind of cool. Wild check. Increase the damage the next basic.
Milady dislikes those who talk too much.
Hey, TKE. Thank you. Okay. Okay. I need to sit up here. You want me good luck? You want me good luck? You want me good summoning?
Kitty
one?
cat, good luck.
Do. It's like any pull now. Yep.
Got it.
You're good luck.
You got it.
You kind of
You
look
got
like
it.
a legendary.
By the chief's command.
I knew it. We
I
did
think I
it.
got him.
Okay, what's it gonna
shall
be?
Protect our forest.
I'm tired of the same old scene.
And a Natira. Do.
Never reveal your vulnerable
All right.
side to
Now, what do I want here as my first Lego?
I got like a magic user.
Probably a damage dealer.
Yeah, I got a magic user.
Because usually it's like, do you want damage, support, or tank? Is like your three choices. You probably want a damage dealer as your first like
I got a damage dealer.
big pull. Hey, what's up, War Shark?
Is the outside world as
But we got
fascinating as the
Lasinia,
books describe?
Lady of Stars. I love the staff. That looks super cool.
Yeah. Definitely damage.
So basic attacks. Bounces between enemies. I like that. Damage modifier attack. So is this a damage dealer? Marks an ally. Every... Does cold damage. Oh, so you can place that on like your tank. That's pretty cool. You could like mark a tank and then they constantly pop off for cold damage. That's super cool. Summon an ice dragon. We know I love summoning.
Yeah, I definitely have to look more into what my characters do on the side outside of like, because I'm probably not utilizing the full potential of my party right now, because like I have some characters just kind of sitting off to the side. But like the archer, if he has like an opening vulture attack, that would be something that I should consider putting in there. Would be very helpful.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Now we got some champs to invest in here. And where... Oh, okay. Someone's getting feisty. Getting fired up here. Heals the ally with the lowest HP when dealing damage. Dispels buffs. Cold damage would synergize with my Lego.
See, this is good because I'm watching him kind of go through and evaluate the characters he's got and kind of learning myself like how I'll probably go about trying to put together my group going forward so that I'm utilizing my characters to the best potential they can have. This is stuff that I learned through a lot of these streamers who do this as a day job, you know. So being a normie, a casual player, this is the kind of stuff that I do to learn. I like to talk about what they're doing, things that I am doing or not doing. And so, yeah, so this is good. This is good information that Chosen has.
That's a possibility.
Achieving victory is never an easy task.
This is another Frost. And this has got to be like a tank. Yep, that's more cold damage. I think both of those will be good choices. I think let's do it. I say we do it.
As Century would say, let's do this.
And then, where was our other one? It was right here.
Achieving victory is never an easy task.
We're going to see. We're going to learn today.
Oh, so he's like...
And
oh, yeah,
do I
so
have to use my main character, my chosen?
Yeah, so he's definitely kind of been playing this game because he's jumping guys up to level 30. I'm like level 10 right now with my character. So he's definitely progressed further in the game than I have. So that's probably why he has a lot more of the summoning orbs and dice than I do. So that's good to know.
Each champ has an affinity. I think if you have 3 in the same team, you get a bonus. That sounds right. Although I believe it's like 3 or 2 or 4 or 5. Right. Another support. So I can use 5, right? I would want like 1 tank, 2 melees, and 2 supports. Let's get to a stack of 10 and let's 5 pull it. Yep. Yeah, I'm sure you'll want to get to a point where you use all of them. Like all the affinities. Pretty cool they have 5 of them. It's going to make a lot of different champions viable. You see, we got a Frost Epic. Frost is looking like my main element right now. When an enemy dies, you gain their ultimate energy. Oh my That's gotta be so good. For like snowballing. It's gotta be. I like that. Let's do some 5 pulls. We got an epic. Looks like a dupe. I can't let Hell Hades have more legendaries than me. How many legendaries does Hell Hades have? We can't stand for that. I can't fall behind Hell Hades on day 1. We got the Fateless rivalry going on. Now this is
All right, so we got a good general gist of what Dragon Heir Silent Gods is all about. Like, it's a really cool game. As you can see, you place them on the board, and I'm gonna go back and check about how to do the auto attacks because right now I'm still just kind of doing it. Now maybe it's only gonna hit a certain level before I can change it to auto. I don't know. Uh, but it's very cool game, and a lot of possibilities with it. Graphics, as you can see, are pretty fucking amazing. Storyline seems pretty cool. And yeah, so I'm gonna get more on that. I'll probably report more on it down the road. Oddly enough, probably gonna get a lot of hate for this. I kind of like Dragonair more right now than I am about Path of Exile. So Path of Exile has some cool things about it, but it doesn't need to be overly complicated for me. Like Dragonair is like a little more simple. It's a little more straightforward. Um, it's a more detailed than Diablo 4. But I'm gonna talk more about Diablo 4 later. I have things to talk about with that. Because I've been staying on that. And I'm kind of pushing back a little bit on that Diablo 4 hate. I will be. But Dragonair looks like the real deal, like in terms of like a free game, dude. You can literally go onto your PC, download it for free, and play it. Path of Exile is free too. But this game looks like way better in terms of graphics and everything else. I know Path of Exile is like 10 years old, but I really dig what Dragonair is doing or trying to accomplish here. So definitely be checking out that more. So the next thing I want to talk about in this episode is, of course, Diablo 4, but we know season 2 is coming soon. Season 1 will be ending in October. We know about Blizzard and their microtransactions and their silliness and their inability to fix certain things of the game that need to be fixed, both when World of Warcraft or Diablo 4. They keep trying to do certain things to, basically throw wool over people's eyes to try to get them to stay engaged. They give you a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're going to do this XP weekend, which really amounts to nothing to do to keep you in the game. But I still find myself playing Diablo 4. I do. It's not because I think it's like the world beater of games. There's still a lot of problems with it, but I still have fun with it right now. And now maybe that's part of the thing. When I listen to Asmon or DM or Hog or anybody who's played Diablo 4 and they've gone max out with it and they've done this or that. I find that I still enjoy it, and I think there's a sentiment that, yeah, okay, maybe it is made for me because now I've realized once I've gotten my characters up to 70 that it's more just like, oh, do I want to play a couple hours to try to level up my characters a little bit? Yeah, okay, I'll do that. But I don't get bent out of shape anymore because I don't need to sit there for 10 hours, right? And before I was kind of like, man, I really wish we would level up a lot faster and easier, but that's not the intention of the game. And I'm kind of slowly realizing that it's not really what they want. And so for those that, the streamers that spent like hours upon hours, getting their characters to 100 and then like bitching about no end game, well, it's like, it's kind of not made for you, right? if that's really what it comes down to. It's not made for you guys to like steamroll. You're doing it for content, but now you're kind of bad mouthing a game that you've already beaten. And so like it's kind of weird. Like uh for the rest of us who are slowly chipping away at the game, uh it's a little bit more better in that respect. Like I don't have hours upon hours to dedicate to playing games. I have other content I got to do, have other things in my life, my wife, animals, a job, all this other stuff that these guys don't have, That's why you find a lot of content creators now, like they don't just talk about gaming. They end up talking about like news and everything else because they're so good at what they do with the games that like they get through the games and then there's nothing else. And something that Asmon said the other day kind of stuck with me is that he himself will only play games he's really interested in. Like there's streamers out there that will try any game and then try to give you input on said games. Asmon doesn't do that. He doesn't play just any game. Like he finds games that he thinks will be interesting and plays them. And I kind of respect that because I'd probably be the same way if I was that type of content creator. Like if I was actually playing online and all that stuff. I don't think I could sit through games I just have no interest in. Like it makes no sense to me. So if someone said, getting sacrilege here, if Mario Brothers, right? It was never a game I cared about. Don't care about it. Still don't care about it. There's a lot of diehard fans of the gaming world that love that game. It's just not a game that interests me at all. So why would I sit there and try to play a game that I just have no interest in? But if you turn me on to Final Fantasy 16, Diablo 4, to Castlevania, that's stuff that I would play and I'd be interested in. But I see now with some of these content creators, right? They come out and they kind of bash Diablo 4. And look, Blizzard deserves all the heat they're getting. No doubt about it. Whoever's running Blizzard, definitely doing it for the money, and that is a problem. But here's the thing. And this is where I give credit to Hog, because Hog's like, look, man, if you like enjoy playing Diablo 4, then play it. He straight up tells you that. He doesn't really care about it anymore. He's done with that part of it, right? But he doesn't begrudge anybody for still playing the game. And I totally respect that dude for saying that. There's no hate given for people that still want to play the fucking game. But when I listen to these other content creators that, had played Diablo 4 and bitch about it, and then like kind of whine like, well, it's really kind of a shitty game, but I'm going to continue to play it. Like it's a shitty game, but you continue to play. Like you're just fighting against yourself, man. Like there is something to be said about if you want a company to change itself, you have to push back on it and don't contribute to it. So people will say, if you want Blizzard to change, then just don't play the game. Well, that's easier said than done because really, any content creator you talk to that's played Diablo 4, any of them, 1 through 50 is a blast with the plot, the campaign, and all that. It's just what happens after that it starts to fall apart. So from that angle, you're telling these content creators, don't buy Blizzard, don't play the game if you think it sucks. Well, it doesn't totally suck. It sucks to a certain point, right? Sorry, I'm in between drinking beer and water because the beer, man, I get dry mouth all the time. I don't like speaking too much. It's kind of odd considering I'm doing YouTube content, but I really don't care about speaking all that much. But I do enjoy this to a degree. It does feel like another job. I don't get paid for it, but it's fun to do. It's a hobby among my other hobbies I got, collecting tarantulas and everything else. So just bear with me here. So there's this guy out there, another streamer called Rax Interax, and very cool guy, very knowledgeable. He self says that he does his content to create builds for games for people to follow. So one of the things he does, like with Diablo 4, he'll play through the game and then give you builds that should help you out and guide you through the game if you choose to like look at them and use them. Totally respect that because I'm totally one of those people that will look at builds. I have no problem doing it. Some people like say just go in blind like Path of Exile. They're like, don't do a build. But dude, you have to understand, like Path of Exile is so complicated with everything that's going on in it that you kind of need a build if you want to do it right. And you know, the other thing that no one ever mentions about these streamers is that if I go in a build for Diablo 4, so if like my main character is a Frost Mage, Sorcerer, if I use like a build that someone has created, I tweak it. Like I don't always go with exactly what they got because some of the stuff they use in their builds I don't use and don't like. Now, maybe it's a hindrance when I'm trying to get beyond, like I'm at 82 right now with this sorcerer. So maybe some of that, because I'm not using teleport and some of this other stuff, maybe it's a hindrance. But at the same time, is I like what I like and I like how I use it. And when I'm using the gameplay and how I play, I need to be able to use the spells and stuff that I do that is comfortable with me when I'm using it. Like I know how to play it as that. It doesn't matter what character I'm going to use. I have a bunch of other characters I have. All of them are up to at least 50. Most of them are up to 70. But I have certain builds that I've had to tweak reading these other builds because I don't like some of the things they use in their builds. So, Rax is a big Diablo Blizzard fan. So, you know, he plays a lot of their games. I don't know if he ever played World of Warcraft, but he is a Diablo guy. So he's talked about it and he'll talk about it in this video we're going to watch. And, you know, his basically his thing is my future as a content creator. And I know he recently did like a interview or a talk with DM. DM's another great streamer, so be for sure to check him out. Where they're talking back and forth about this very subject. But again, I haven't looked at the interview because I kind of get the feeling they're just gonna like shit on Diablo 4 more, and I've heard enough what I need to hear about Diablo 4. I know what the problems are. I don't need to see a video every other day about why Diablo 4 sucks ass. Like it's so like, do we fucking get it? We know, right? We know. But now it's like I want to talk about some of the stuff that Diablo 4 does right and whether or not they can get back on track. Because really, if you think about it, Diablo 3 started out really rough. And I didn't play it then, but if you watch my other streams that I do with Edgar Allan Poet, who did play Diablo 3 early on, he said it got better once Reaper Souls came out. Now, Asmon disagrees. He doesn't like it, but, you know, it's all subjective and what you like playing. I started playing D3 around 2017, so it was right before Reaper Souls came out, or right around the same time. And I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed it. Like I really had fun with D3. I didn't play season 29. When I go back to D3 now, it seems so slow in contrast to the character mobility in D4. So I when I go back to D3 now, it's kind of like I lose interest really fast because it just seems so sluggish. And I say the same thing about WoW Classic or Hardcore. Like I go back and play it, and I'm like, it's so time consuming to get from point A to point B. Don't like doing it. Don't like doing it. Give me fluidity, give me speed, all that good shit. So Rax is going to be explaining why he's no longer going to play D4, at least for a while. But there's an interesting twist in here. And that is he's going to go venture out and play some other games. Good for him. That's, you know, as a content creator, that's what he needs to do. He may still have people clamoring for him to play D4 because there are people doing that even with Hog or anybody else. You guys have to suck it up. Those guys have already done what they wanted to do with D4 and they're kind of moving on to other things. Certainly, if you're someone who's into D4 and still like talking about it, I'm going to be covering it a lot more because I'm still kind of enjoying D4. There's a lot of problems. I get it. We can't rehash it all here, but there's things about D4 I still really like, and I hope for the best for it. And that really is the hope of it all. And but Rax is going to talk about how he's no longer going to play D4. He's kind of disenfranchised with it, and he's going to venture in other portions. So let's kind of go through his video. It's not very long. It's only about 11 minutes. And I may stop it here and there just to kind of talk on some of his talking points. But this is why I think there's a bit of hypocrisy with some of these guys, because they'll spend all day trashing a game and then they'll continue to play it. And his reasoning, of course, is, well, I'm doing it so I can create builds for you all, for all of us, the viewers, the gamers, the watchers, whatever. But I'm like, don't do me any favors, dude. Don't put yourself through suffering if you don't enjoy the game. Like, that's stupid. So, Rax can come back to me if he ever sees this and like give me a bunch of shit, or like, you're taking it the wrong way. That's fine. I get that and I respect that. But it really cracks me because he's not the only one that does it. I see it all the time, with some of these other streamers. For a while, Quinn was talking up Blizzard and D4, and then all of a sudden he wasn't anymore. He was like, D4 is trash and garbage. So it's like, make up your mind, dude. What is it? So let's give it a whirl and see what Rax has to say here. And keep in mind, I do like this guy's content. He's very smart. Puts out good content. So please check out his video and subscribe to him. It doesn't matter what opinions I may have about any streamer or whatever. They're all good guys, all trying to do right. So just because I disagree with something just doesn't mean they're bad streamers. So let's go.
Hi everyone, it's Rax. Been a while since I made a YouTube video, and I wanted to talk to you about the future of me as a content creator. A lot of people on this channel may understand that for the last 4.5 years, I've been a content creator for Blizzard and for the Diablo franchise, in particular Diablo 3, and for a very short period of time, Diablo Immortal. That was a catastrophe. We cut that out instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And then and now Diablo 4. So it's no secret that Diablo 4 has not lived up to expectations. And the more that I've thought about it, actually, I think it's actually worse for the real blasters, the pro players, whatever you'd like to call them, because with the current iteration of the game, there's really not much to do. I can blast them. I mean, look how many hundreds I have. I almost have 10 100s. You can blast up to 100, no problem. And then what do you do?
I don't even want to know how much time he put into getting those to 100, dude. I literally have to ask him that if I ever get a chance to talk to him. Like, I would love to interview all these streamer guys. I tried to reach out to DM. He never got back to me, which is unfortunate because I really like that guy a lot and wish I could interview him. Same with Rax or anyone else chosen. I would love to interview these guys at some point. I did Hog. It was a lot of fun. The time, though, to invest to put all those characters into 100, dude. Like I said, I play my sorcerers the most, and I'm at 82. And now, granted, I'm not putting in 10 hours a day on that, right? Like, I have other things I got to do. But since the release of Diablo 4, like, I don't know how they get there. Like, sure, you can grind and grind and grind, but dude, it would take fucking forever.
Nightmare Dungeon 100 is free on every single character, and Uber Lilith has been killed many, many times by now. And gearing up, you have like perfect gear by the time you're 75.
That's true.
There's just nothing to do in the game, and at least for casual.
And I'll say this right now, like, now Rax will be differently because Rax is probably on tier 4, like, totally. But yeah, he's on tier 4. So with my sorcerer and my necromancer, I beat Elias to get into tier 4. Now, in order to get my sorcerer there, I had to have help from a friend who no longer plays Diablo 4. He got tired of it and quit the game. But before he did, like, he helped me get past Elias. Elias is a motherfucker, dude. Like, Asmon say he's easy to beat. No way. I have a hard time with that motherfucker. Now, granted, I'm not an expert gamer, so maybe my build at the time wasn't good. Like, I'd probably go into right now and play Elias because I'm at 82. I'd probably whack him. Plus, Blizzard did, like, change some things with how you progress in the game with, like, regularly, like, they're right at your level or lower. I think if you get to level 85, everything else is lower, I think, unless you're doing Nightmare Dungeons or Uber Lilith, etc. So, like, once you hit 85, everything else is kind of lower in terms of, like, level. And so that's one thing that we all complain about is the scaling system. Now, I still think that I still stand by it. Like, I've dropped all my characters back to tier 3, and I have a much better time with it, a lot easier, fun time with it. It's still a grind to get the characters to level, but at least I feel like I'm accomplishing something. Like, I'm blasting away and destroying many things, like the way I feel overpowered. That's the way I want to feel. The issues you run into is that tier 3 does not offer ancestrals. And unfortunately, any uniques that drop are always lower than me. And I think the thing that I bitch about the most about Blizzard and about Diablo 4 is if you were at a certain level as a character, any legendary and unique drops that you get should be at your level or higher. It should never be lower. Rares, common or the yellow items, I don't care. You can have those at lower levels all day long. I don't give a shit. But if I'm at 82 as a sorcerer, any fucking legendaries and uniques that drop should be my level or higher so that I can progress respectively in the game. Right? And that's not happening. Even if I drop to tier 3 where I am, it should still be fucking happening that way. I don't care what they say. I don't know if it's feasible. I don't know, like, what they can do to make the game better in that regard, but if I move up to tier 4 and I start getting items that drop at my level or higher, then I'll go back up there. But why am I going to stress myself out dying every 5 minutes to a mob or whatever? Because we know there's problem with crowd control still and resistances and all that other good shit. Why am I going to, like, torture myself on tier 4? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I've still died on tier 3 occasionally because, again, the mobs. Like, I'll get stuck in a mob, can't get out, and I have no resistances, so then I just die. And, sometimes it makes you want to punch your fucking computer screen. Like, it's just frustrating. And it's childish, but it's stupid. Like, this, and I don't know why Blizzard does it this way. Like, they're just being big assholes about everything. Like, fix the fucking problems, dude. Make it worthwhile to when you level that the gear that you get, doesn't matter if you're fighting a world boss or a fucking Legion event or whatever, drop the gear that's going to help you propel higher so that you can get to the end game, right? I understand that Rax and them all want something after Uber Lilith, like, but that's, really, if you're being honest, that's something that's, like, made for expansions, which is something that Blizzard has talked about with this game. So maybe that's where it's going to happen. Like, you can go do this extra content once you've gotten to 100. I mean, the only thing right now is that I have to look forward to, really, which in a way is good, is when season 2 comes around, I will play. I played season 1. I took my Necro to 50, got a little bit of the perks, and then deleted the character. I didn't want it anymore. It was too much of a grind past 50. I don't even worry about it. And it may still be that way in season 2. I may still get to 50, don't feel like doing the grind, and just bow out. Pick up whatever perks I can. But, like, the good news is I'll go in as a sorcerer. I'm going to pick that class. I really am comfortable with the sorcerer. And then I'm going to go and, like, try to, I've got my blueprint on my current sorcerer on my other real world, realm. So I'll do that. And that's kind of the blueprint of where I want to go with the character I'm going to play in season 2. What I won't do is I won't be skipping any campaigns. I just won't do it. Like, of course, I say that now, but then I'm thinking about the dreaded. Well, I think that you don't have to skip the campaign. It depends on what Blizzard does. If Blizzard says to me or says to everybody, if you log into your main character, so if I log into my sorcerer who's gotten all the, I haven't got all the Liliths, but I think I got most of them, all the waypoints, etc., and you can still play the campaign and still have all the waypoints, then I'll do that. If it doesn't offer that, uh, unless you skip the campaign, that's going to be a dilemma because really kind of going around and re-getting all that shit is a fucking stupid ass idea. It's just terrible. Terrible. And I'm just talking to my wife on that text, so she's just getting off work. But okay, so yeah, so that's just where I'm at with season 2. Like if they allow me to log in with my main character and have my access to the open world, and then I can still play the campaign, I'll do that. Like that's something that would be fun. Which, considering they're adding like this new element of like a blood vampire or something to it, I would assume there's like a new campaign type plot. So yeah, I'll have to see how that goes. Hopefully it goes off without a hitch.
Players, I think going through the campaign, building up at least one character very slowly, probably is more fun than anybody who's blasting the game. And so, Diablo 3 Season 29 just started. Once again, the Diablo 3 team released a very nice season. They put in solo mode. They put in a Paragon cap. They put in a...
I will say this. I didn't bring up any screenshots or any video of Asmon, but he kind of dashed my dreams a little bit the other day because so Blizzard released a statement. I don't know if Rax is going to go into this right now or not, but they stated what they're going to do for season 2 going forward, right? And it's something to the effect of, we understand the feedback that we're getting from players, and you know we're listening, and we're trying to like keep our viewer base and our player base up. So we're going to do this, this, and this. I kid you not. Asmon went back and he pulled a quote, a comment from Blizzard from way back with Shadowlands with WoW. Word for word, the same thing they said about Diablo 4. It's like Blizzard copy and pasted that comment for Diablo 4. And if that's the case, like if they're just regurgitating shit that they've said before, that's bullshit. And I don't know what the answer is, dude, because like I said, I like playing this game to a certain point, but there might become a point where I just like say, fuck it. Like I still have D3. I'm not going to delete it from the game system or anything, but I don't play it. Not because it's bad, just because I don't play it right anymore. Like you move on to better games that are better designed, better graphics, and they're just new. Some people will go back to games and play them over and over again. I don't really do that. Obviously, if Diablo 4 is going to last like they wanted to for 10 years, that'd be great. But if they don't do certain things and fix certain things, like tabs don't really bother me anymore, but yeah, it's still an issue. But I point out the flaws of Path of Exile where you have to actually pay for those fucking tabs, which is dumb as fuck. Why would you do that? All right, let's get back to him. I'm just kind of sidetracking here.
Cool new permanent feature in the game. It's too bad we just didn't have those D3 devs for the whole lifespan of Diablo 3. Otherwise, the game would have had a lot more success.
Facts.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Always the story. Okay, so now, what am I going to do in the future? The reason why I'm a content creator is because I love video games. When I was a young kid, when we would have like our LAN parties, have our little sleepovers, and we would be, on Friday we get off from school, we would go order a bunch of pizza. We'd go down to the gas station, get the 64-ounce big gulp.
I can just tell he's so young because in my age, dude, I know like growing up in the 80s, game systems at the time for me in the 80s was like Atari. And then, of course, Sega Genesis in the early 90s and whatnot. But I never had like sleepovers for gaming nights or anything like that. Like, but I know that for the younger generation, that became a thing. Like my wife and I used to watch our nephew when he was small, and he would get online playing like Red Redemption or something like that, the shooter game, and that was a big thing for him and his buddies and whatever. And so like just listening to Rex talk about what he did growing up to the point where he is now, it's like, dude, you're just so young. Like for us, like sleepovers was more like watching horror movies or just going outside playing football or whatever. Like it was just vastly different than the age of young people now.
Pop, and then we just blast all night. It's noon the next day, and then everyone starts to go to sleep. I was the guy that would stay up and plug 3 extra controllers in the Xbox and run around practicing 3-shotting spawns in Halo 1 while my friends slept, and I just keep playing, after we had already been playing for almost 24 hours. I'm, even as an old piece of shit 37-year-old man, that is still who I am. I'm still that same kid that just has to blast.
You don't
it's
look
just my
37, brother. You're
personality.
doing pretty good.
One thing that I found very, very rewarding in the last 4.5 years is teaching people the game. I like to make guides. I like to know what I'm talking about. I like to level up 100 times to 100. That way, when I make a leveling guide for you, I can be pretty damn sure that if it isn't the best leveling guide possible, it at least is going to be really good. When I was younger, it was way more important to me to compete. I wanted to be world number one in WoW. I wanted to be the best Halo 1 player in the world and all the different games. Now it's much more about the community and teaching. There's nothing to teach in Diablo 4. There's nothing. And I'm finding that area of fulfillment just completely empty currently. Now, Diablo 4, it's
I don't know about that, man. Like you've got so many characters at 100. I don't know. There's plenty to fucking teach here, I think. Like I'm sure he knows like some very good pointers outside of builds that would probably be helpful. Now, granted, I'm just one of many that follow him and watch his stuff and learn from him or whatever. But there's still a lot there to share. It just depends on what you're willing to talk about or like I would sit with him one on one and like say, dude, what's wrong with my build? What's wrong with my Paragon board? Like Paragon boards are very cool in Diablo 4. And some people hate them, but I like them. But I say to myself, am I using the right things? Am I not utilizing it properly? Like, because it's so weird. And this is something I noticed the other day, right? So as I said, my sorcerer is at 82. She does about 6,000 attack damage and has about 5,000 armor and about 5,000 life, somewhere in that range. My level 71 rogue does about 4,500 damage, about 5,000 armor, and about 4,700 life. And I say to myself when I'm playing it, and then granted I'm on tier 3, right? But I'm playing it and like it takes almost no damage. It's a fucking rogue. How does my rogue not take that much damage? But then if I go into fucking like my sorcerer, same tier, and my power is like amazing. Like I'm doing heavy damage. But dude, if I'm taking shots, my life just starts it's fucking nuts. Now, granted, I have Frost Shield that I use. Now, some people use Flame Shield. I think I have that as like a byproduct, but it doesn't really pop up as much as I would like. But I sacrificed the flame shield for more attack, so I got Blizzard. I actually went to another guy's build. He was talking about another video. Guy talked about increasing his attack options, and that was something that I did. And I do like the Blizzard added in there. I have Frost Nova Blizzard, Deep Freeze, and then my Frost Shield, and then of course I have Frostbolt and Ice Shards. So I went with a completely like Frost spec, right? But even when I had the flame shield, even when I wasn't when I was not all totally Frost, I was still taking heavy damage. So, the flame shield, you can pop that and then go and like, survive and heal a little bit. But why is it my rogue is not taking much damage, but yet the fucking sorcerer is taking a huge amount of damage? Like my rogue takes the less damage than my necro, my druid, or even my barbarian. And I don't understand the logic behind it. Now, Rax might have an answer for that, but it doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of what you're thinking about with the character. Like a rogue should not be able to sustain that like a druid should, a barbarian should, because they're built as tanks. But if my rogue is not taking that much damage and still doing a shit ton of damage at 4,700, granted, I'm using like frost and poison imbued weapons. My frost mage at fucking like doing 6,000, like that, I should be obliterating things before they even have a chance to get up. And for most of the stuff that I fight, yeah, it does happen. But some of the elites like are unfazed. So I don't know, like maybe it's not my builds at all. Maybe it's just Blizzard and their fucking sucky ass design of the game. Maybe that's what's playing a part in this. But Rax probably does have some insight into stuff that he hasn't realized, he hasn't shared yet. Now, I'm not going to say that he needs to spend all his time on this game. Like, I think as a content creator, you do, if you love games as much as you say to, find another game, dude. Go play it for a while. People were talking about Last Epoch. Don't know anything about it, but it seems to be a game that people are into. Starfield, if you're into that, or Path of Exile, or even go try Dragonair, man. You might actually enjoy the shit out of that game, dude, if you haven't already. Just try something and then like rethink of how you want to approach Diablo 4. Like it sounds like you enjoy the game enough to make as much content as you did about it. Like I don't understand like why anybody would play a game they don't really enjoy and why they'd want to make builds for a game they just don't enjoy. I don't believe for a second he doesn't enjoy this game. But let's continue.
Very common opinion across everybody, the lovers and the haters of the game. Diablo 4 has got a good base. It was just released too early. Too many bugs, too many imbalances, not enough things to do. It would have released 1 year after it released. It might have had a much different narrative, but it doesn't matter. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. It is what it is, and here's where we are. I think it's going to take them a good amount of time to fix it. They'll do nice things in Season 2. They'll do nice things in Season 3. Maybe by then, when the leaderboards are out with a couple new, hopefully, endgame things added, maybe it will be better. But I'm finding it very hard to commit to building my future on this game until I've seen more. So then I asked myself, what should I do instead, or should I hang it up? I can tell you without a doubt, I don't care about fame. In fact, I would actually prefer to not be famous than famous, not to say that I am famous. I don't care about the fame. I don't care about the money. I want to be a content creator because I love games.
I care about the money because I'd love to be able to retire from my day job and do this full time, but I'm just not. I don't have quite the charisma as a lot of these guys online and stuff, and part of it's being entertaining, not just with gaming, but no matter what kind of videos you make, if you're a reactor or whatever, like it's just you got to be entertaining. You're just average Joe guy who does this, big into heavy metal and rock, of course. Love horror movies, movies in general, entertainment. And I love talking movies and stuff and music and of course games, and sports. We talk sports too. But yeah, if I can make money at this, I would care. And maybe Rax is just kind of be humble about it, but I think he cares. Like everybody wants to be successful at what they do. And no matter his intentions behind it, no matter if he's doing it mainly from a educational purpose or whatever, the money matters. So I don't believe him on that at all.
Even with, like I said, even with the kids that I was around when I was younger who loved video games, it was not the same as me. It was just not the same level. All of my friends would tell you the same. So this is where I'm going to stay. I'm going to keep streaming and I'm going to keep making content because I committed the very first day that I started streaming, March 13th, 2019, that I was going to stream every single day without missing a day for 10 straight years. So we just hit 4.5 years.
Good
Never
job,
missed a
brother.
day. We got another 5.5 to go. I'm committed to that and we're going to keep going. It looks like the best ARPG that's going to come out soon is Last Epoch. It just looks incredible. Everybody loves it. Everybody says that it's got a great endgame, great crafting system. It already has a godly loot filter. I think that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm still going to play D4. I'm still going to cover D4. I know D4. I don't need to practice D4. I'll be able to keep in touch with the game. And if it gets great, then I can go back and main D4 again. But I think it's time for me to start warming up in Last Epoch. And I think it's time for me to start warming up a bit more in Path of Exile.
Dragonair. Try Dragonair, brother.
Again, I like to teach things. So Last Epoch will be a much bigger opportunity for me to teach you the game than PoE. There's already a million godly content creators for PoE. I don't know even if I mained PoE if I could be better than them. Not that it's a competition. I actually think that having many great content creators is better than just trying to monopolize it. I think that's a losing mentality. It's a loser mentality. But I don't think I'd be able to gain enough knowledge quickly enough to be able to teach you PoE 1. But maybe it's going to be different if PoE 2 is dramatically different. So I will absolutely be paying attention to PoE 2 and Last Epoch. I think I'm going to start playing them and I'm going to start learning them very well. So hopefully I can teach you guys how to have fun in these games. I also love MMOs. Lost Ark is pretty solved at this point, but I do love that game, and the Jumpstart servers are out. I would be lying to you if I was not considering just maining Lost Ark. I love the raids. I love the difficulty. The pay to win sucks, but I love that like MMO grindy stuff. Like that's very much in my wheelhouse. So the Riot MMO could be a godly game. I'm absolutely paying attention to how that goes. That could be the main game of the future. Another thing is the Moon Beast game. If you haven't checked it out, the friends over at Moon Beast, the like original designers of Diablo 2 have came out of retirement to reinvent the ARPG genre. Check out the Moon Beast game. I'm watching them. So anyway, just to summarize this, not to make this a giant soliloquy or anything, I am still a gamer and a content creator. I always will be, even if one day I retire from it or whatever. I will always be this. I've always been this even before I ever fired up the stream. I just love video games way too much to ever step away from it. I have to blast. I will pretty much, I can't guarantee it, but I just don't think I will ever become a variety streamer. I don't like that. I don't like to play every game for 3 days and essentially suck at everything.
Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying before. And I agree. Like you play what you are enjoying and interested in. Like some people will go out and try different games, and part of this is your sponsorship. So like I don't know what Rax has in terms of communities or gamers or companies that might endorse him to try games. Like I don't know how that works. I know that there's streamers out there that get, endorsed by Activision or whatever to play games, Blizzard, so on and so on. But, again, like if Blizzard said to me one day, which will never happen, but if they said to me, Anubis, we want to endorse you to play our games. We think you've got good content and we want to send you some games to try out and stream and play and talk about on your streams. Well, the problem is I would be subjected to games that I probably have no interest in. And so like I wouldn't play them. And then I'd kind of be in sort of a breach of contract because if I take money from you and I'm not playing the games, that would be a problem. It'd be my fault because I'm supposed to go and play and teach, talk about these games and review them. I just don't do that. So the Rax is true. Like I get why he's saying he wants to get into a game and he wants to continue playing that game because he's interested in that game. And so that makes sense. I get that. That's how I would go about it because why play games that are just boring to you? It makes no sense. And that's probably why he stuck with D4 as long as he did, because he's interested in the game. But he's like the rest of us, where we understand there's a lot of fucking problems with it right now. And it's sort of disheartening when they're not being fixed fast enough for our liking. And so that's what happens with that.
I want to play a few games and try to be as good at them as possible. It's very much my style. So I will D3. Thanks for the 1 week of fun. You did your job like always. D3 is kind of dead, but you did a great job with what you had. Diablo 4, Copium. I hope that everything gets turned around. I think it eventually will. I just worry that it's going to be too late by the time that it happens. Last Epoch, I mean, I'm looking at you. I'm kind of like a free agent here. Not that I'm
Let me say this about Diablo 4 and Blizzard trying to fix what they're fixing, right? So we know at D3, by the time that Reaper of Souls came out, the game was pretty much dead in the water. Like it pretty much dropped off. And then even if you go on to D3 now, like it's like a ghost town. Like there's some players that have come back to do season 29 because of all the cool things that it offered. But prior to that, it was a ghost town. Like I could log in, there was just not much going on. There's a few people that still play D3 like religiously, but not enough. Let me say this about Diablo 4. It doesn't matter to me if people ever come back to the game. If Diablo 4 gets fun again or gets to the point where they fix a lot of the shit that I've been complaining about myself to make the game more enjoyable, I'll keep playing. And I'll play 10 years from now the same way if I feel like the game is fun for me. I could give a rat's ass about Rax. I give a rat's ass about Asmon or anyone else. If they don't enjoy what Diablo 4 is offering like 10 years from now, and I don't care. Don't come back. It's for me. I'm going to enjoy it. So if you're worried about like the numbers for Diablo 4, like whether or not 10 gazillion people are playing it, that's the wrong mentality to have. No one gives a fuck. And I'll say this to Rax to his face. If you are enjoying playing a game, dude, doesn't matter what the fuck it is, you play it. Don't fucking worry about what the rest of the masses want. If it's just you on a server playing Diablo 4 and you're enjoying the game, that's all that fucking matters, dude. It doesn't matter who else is playing the fucking game. It's not for them. If they don't like it, they can go on to something else. That's how it works. There's plenty to choose from, dude. And I say that to anybody. And I know Asmon and these guys, they all understand this. I don't have to really preach to Rax. He knows this. But I don't care about the numbers. To me, it's shocking because Blizzard, who's so concerned about money, are just okay with pissing it all away because they're not doing the things necessary to make the game better. Like if your idea is, as Blizzard, as a corporation, to make a gazillion dollars, right? Beside the fact that you've already ripped us off from the day we paid for pre-orders, if your idea is to make money, you're not going about it a very good way. Like you're not doing the things necessary to keep your player base up on that spectrum. So from that angle, the numbers are bad. Like, I don't see how Blizzard can save themselves. But now the only thing that would be a problem here, and although I think because of what happened D3, I don't think we're ever going to see Blizzard give up on D4. They didn't give up on D3. They could have easily after the first couple of years. They didn't. It took time, but they got Follow the Reaper, Follow the Reaper, Children of Bodom's album. The Reaper of Souls that came out, right? So at the end of the day, D4, if it's good 5 years from now, 7 years from now, 10 years from now, doesn't matter. There's going to be people sticking with this at some point because they're still kind of enjoying the game. It could go off the deep end. It could get a lot worse, certainly. You know, as Rax pointed out, these aren't the same people that put D3 together. But then again, I don't know if the devs who started with D3 were the ones that ended with D3. I think they actually changed out people at some point, which made D3 better in the long run. Why it is we didn't use those devs for this game, no idea. Can't explain that. I don't have any idea on that. But it's not going to be too late if Diablo 4 fixes the game to a certain extent, right? To where people enjoy it. So that's kind of a bad thing to say because I'm not worried about whether or not 1 million people are playing this game. If they want to come back when Blizzard changes things and it's for the better or whatever, great. Good news for Blizzard, right? But if Blizzard fixes the game and like no one comes back and I'm sticking with it and I'm playing it, I don't care. It's not for you. It's for me. I'm getting enjoyment from it. It's for me.
Valuable, not to imply that I have any value, but anybody's looking for a blaster, if you're willing to make a godly game that's not a predatory pay-to-win game, I'm looking. So really looking strong at Last Epoch. I will be playing more PoE 1 to learn more about it. I've already done one season where at least I got my 4 Void Stones. I got to level like 97. So that's one round of it. But I want to say I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for, I did not think after a few years of streaming I would have, almost a quarter of a million subs on YouTube. I didn't think my Twitch would be where it's at. I didn't think I would be anybody, and I don't have some big ego or anything at all. I'm just the same little kid that just loves to blast games. And so far, I've been able to make a career out of it, which is all anybody could ever ask for. It's because of you guys. I never take you for granted. I still remember the first time that I had a video that had 1,000 views and how happy I was on it. So need to remember those. Need to remember those moments just to keep yourself in check and keep your mind focused on what you're doing. So thanks for all the fantastic times. I will continue to cover Diablo 4, but let's see what the godly games are coming up, and I'm considering making a switch to either Last Epoch or PoE 2. I just wanted to let you guys know in case if you're only here for Diablo, I want to warn you that I may switch gears, and if that's all you wanted to, that's all you were interested in, you can go ahead and we can part ways now.
That's the right attitude, man. Like, don't cater to just what your audience wants. If you're getting burnt out on a game, doesn't matter what it is, switch to something else that is going to intrigue you, invigorate you mentally and excitedly, emotionally. One thing that people mention about my channel is why don't you just do music since that's your biggest thing? Like you have a website, a radio. Why don't you just concentrate on the music part of it, like your interviews and stuff? And the reason for that is because I have too many interests. Now, I do have ADHD, so like I'm kind of like squirrel. I'm turning around. I have a lot of interests, but in the process of all that with the channel, when I started doing it strictly with the channel and not just audio podcast, I wanted to do stuff that was going to keep me engaged emotionally intellectually and interesting to me on a daily basis. Um, like I said, I love movies. I love talking movies. I love talking games. I love talking sports. I love interviewing directors, actors, musicians. I love listening to music every week, new records every week, so I can do my top fives. Uh, I'm very much engaged with everything that I do, but I do it because the way I do it is because one, no one's really doing what I'm doing in terms of content. Like no one's like taken a metal channel and made it into all this. So, and if they have, I haven't come across them. So, like, yeah, I'm not trying to break any ground here. I'm not saying I'm groundbreaking in that regard, but the reality is that I had too many interests to like talk about just one thing all the time. And so, Rax, if you're talking about, going on and trying something else because you're kind of finding this like void playing a D4 right now and it's kind of burnt you out, do it. It's actually healthy for you to go do something else for a little while. Um, I'm gonna go play some Dragonair a little bit, like take a little break from D4. Like I was just kind of trying to build up my Paragon boards a little bit and my characters, but until I'm kind of waiting now till season two. So I'll probably spend a lot of time with Dragonair. I don't do it online or Twitch or anything, but I will talk about it as I do more with it. And obviously, I'll keep an eye on all the streamers and talk about what they're doing and comment on anything that might come up. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy like they're the ones that know what they're talking about in terms of the gaming community. So if people come here and say, "Well, dude, you're just kind of watching what other people say and do," and I'm like, "Well, that's because they're in the know." If you want to learn about stuff and like all I'm just giving is my opinions on what they're saying in regards to my own playing, my own thoughts about stuff. But if I'm gonna use anyone for facts, data, whatever, it's gonna be Rax, it's gonna be Asmon, Hog, DM, Chosen, whoever. These guys do this shit for a living. So if I'm drawing from them, it's because they're the ones in the know. They do this. This is their thing. And it isn't that much different from what I'm doing. Rax, like anybody that's playing different games, Hog is into Path of Exile, which he's played now. I think he's doing some other games now. He played Starfield. He's dabbling with different stuff. But when it comes to this channel, for me, definitely I'm going to go do different things because I like talking different things. I'm a huge Kaiju Godzilla fan. We went to G Fest this year. It was a big deal. First one I ever been to. So, and I'm 53. So to be able to go experience that for the first time since being a Godzilla fan since I was very young, uh, was a huge deal. And it's just it's fun doing different things on this channel. So Rax is a good dude. So I'm gonna put the links for the streamers that I talked about a little bit for Rax. You guys to go check them out, subscribe, give these guys support, man. They're really good at what they do. You may disagree with some of their takes, or may not even dislike some of their personalities a little bit, but support them anyway, dude. Because like it's almost like of course, I'm a little bit different on how it's starting out than ever was, but sometimes there are people that you love to hate. If they're controversial or whatever, uh, but you find yourselves continuing to watch them and see them and comment on their streams. Well, support them, man. Like you don't have to pay for them, but just support them. Like their pages, subscribe to their channels. Like if you think that they're just people that can draw interest from you as a viewer and a commenter, well, then do it. And but to me, I've never found these guys to be assholes or bad people or anything. Like they're very good at what they do, and they can be controversial just like anybody out there with their own opinions. But no one says you have to agree with everything. Same here. Like things that I say, you may disagree with, and that's fine. But in the end, it's all about a community too. The gaming community, music community, when it comes to directors, like authors. It's all about supporting people, man. Like if you find stuff you love, then support these people, man. They deserve it. You know what I mean? Well, that's all I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you got any comments or want to talk about it with me on, the comment section, go ahead. I don't usually do these live because there's just not much going on, and I don't get too many people live to talk about this stuff. But maybe if I get a panel of guests at one point, can do something like that and get more live chats in there. But for now, it's just pre-recording. So hope you all enjoyed it, and hope you enjoy the rest of the week, man. And keep it fucking metal, brother.